Cajetan is a blind man. He lives with his family in Ikorodu, a town in Lagos. Just like any other person, he gets set for work and leaves his home every day at 6:45 a.m. With his white cane, he is able to navigate the road all by himself to the bus stop. Even the rain cannot stop Cajetan from going to work in spite of his condition. Sometimes, his wife helps him get to the road where he takes a commercial motorcycle to the bus station at Ikorodu garage. After alighting, he then gets someone to help him cross the road. Here is where he bought a bus from. He doesn't have to give transport fare. Lagos BRT don't demand money from the physically challenged. The journey from Ikorodu to Yaba is about 30 kilometers. He then takes a yellow bus, popularly known as Danfo, to complete his journey. From there, he then navigates to his office all by himself. This is how he goes to work every day. A typical example of what a visually impaired person goes through. So, I decided to interact with Cajetan to know how he's faring in his world. How did you lose your sight? Were you born with it?
I wasn't born blind. I was told by my parents that I lost my sight because of measles when I was young. It was not treated properly as at then, and it started to affect my sight. Because of the mobility skill I have right from school, we've been trained to try and move about on our own independently, at least over like 90%. So I put that into practice, try not to inconvenience those around me. So I go about going from work.
Physically impaired and blind persons can read using Braille. Braille is a tactile writing system used by people who are blind or visually impaired. 3 colleagues of Cajetan are also blind. This is where they work. Here at Anglo-Nigerian Welfare Association for the Blind and WAB, they work to rehabilitate and train blind persons to be independent.
I've just sent him in.
Danlami Bashar is the director. He also does not have a sight.
Being blind as a child, at a very early age, is not as traumatic as getting blind when you are an adolescent or an adult. So, and then, being blind as a child and also having the opportunity to immediately commence schooling, so that was in fact very, very helpful in that you were able to relate with your peers who are blind themselves in an educational setting.
There is a myth that people who are blind or severely visually impaired can't do most jobs and other things independently, but the reality is that they are currently doing many jobs.
Meanwhile, police authorities in Osun State say they have deployed more than enough security personnel to monitor Saturday's by-election in 10 local councils in Osun West Senatorial District.
I'm married with 2 children, and the only thing I know a blind person cannot do for now in this country is to independently drive a car. Do you understand me? But every other thing, aspect of life, I'm sure, especially with the aid of ICT and all that, one is good to go.
Just like many people around the world, they are also on social media to connect with friends. They play games too, just like sighted persons, but theirs is adaptive to them. There is a special way by which they feel and know what they are playing.
I love indoor games, and my best indoor game is I love playing chess. Aside chess, I love Scrabbles, I love dominoes. I want to see a society where every blind person can fend for, can positively, let me use the word positively fend for him or herself. I would want to see a society where no blind person is an illiterate. I want to see a society where no blind person is found begging on the streets.
Cajetan is the oldest staff here. He's the oldest staff. He's been here from the first day of Anwam. If I come in through that door, you know, if I ring the bell and he's the one that opens the door, I come in. Yeah, chairman. So people like him, even down too, they will know, because when you are on the road on your own, we are in darkness and all that, you are going to listen to everything, the movement of different types of people. You know how heavy the person is or how tall he is, the smell, you know, whether it's the hair or the perfume or the type of noise that is in that environment will tell you where you are and the direction to go. CJ is a master when it comes to all that, and he helps in the rehabilitation unit too, apart from running the production unit where the books are produced for blind students.
People who are blind or visually impaired are not endowed with a sharper sense of touch, hearing, taste or smell. To compensate their loss of vision, many learn to listen more carefully or remember without taking notes, or increase directional acumen to compensate for their lack of functional vision.
You may want to try walking around your room with a blindfold covering your eyes, just to have a feel. Most blind people never saw anyone smile before, yet they smile graciously. They may have lost their sight, but they gained vision.